Hey everybody, welcome to the Dad Challenge podcast. My name's Josh. Today we're talking about Gypsy Rose Blanchard. She started a YouTube channel. A lot of people have been asking me to cover it. So we're going to go over her story a little bit more and then talk about her channel and what she's trying to achieve and what's been going on the internet and should she be allowed to do this. It's actually crazy that YouTube allows a literal convicted second-degree murderer to have a channel and capitalize and monetize off of her life. It's crazy. So let's talk about it. Hey everybody, welcome to the Dad Challenge podcast. My name's Josh. Before we get started today, I want to talk to you about Private Internet Access VPN. Some of you are wondering what a VPN is and why it's so important. Let me explain it to you like you're 5. It's like a secret tunnel for your internet access. It encrypts or jumbles your IP so you can surf the internet undetected and not have anybody steal your data. It's really important to have this. I was just traveling and I was in airports and I was in hotels and I was in conference centers, and my VPN is one of the most important parts of doing all that stuff. Basically, a VPN is your internet invisibility cloak, if you're into Harry Potter. Private internet access hides your IP and encrypts your connection so that you can surf the web from anywhere and not be detected. It keeps hackers and ISPs and other nefarious people away from your digital life, and that's really important in this day and age. Again, I was traveling in cafes and restaurants. Sometimes you go to your shady cousin's house and you want to log on the internet. VPN. Private internet access's world-class servers make my data bulletproof. So here's the deal. I was dying to watch Friends because my son Tyson watched it and I had just never really seen it. I know, I'm like the only person on earth that's never seen it. And so I wanted to get it, but it was not available in my country anymore. And so what I did was I got on my private internet access VPN, which is really easy to operate, and I switched it to UK server, and I got to watch whatever the UK can watch, which included Friends. And boom, I'm laughing with Ross and Rachel and their corny jokes. Private Internet Access VPN works with Amazon Prime, or works with Disney Plus, and all the other streaming services. It's really, really convenient and really easy to use. It lets you hop onto 91 countries globally and 50 US states. And don't forget, it not only helps you unlock cooler shows and everything that's not available in your area, but it helps you unlock cheaper flights. A lot of people don't realize that when you're booking trips and things like that, it logs that data and then it sneakily changes prices and says that it knows that you're looking, and so it's like, oh, they're looking, so make it more expensive. I'm not kidding, it does that. And so with a VPN, it cannot track those types of things, which is something that you need to do. And if you're a huge sports fan and you have this subscription to some things, sometimes they black out your games, which is like, let's talk about that. It's silly, don't do it, but they do that. And with private internet access, you can go to a different state and watch that game from there, so there's no more blacked out games. And here's the coolest part. One subscription covers unlimited devices, even your smart fridge. Okay, if you have one of those, that's cool. And private internet access has a no log policy. Pick a server and log on. It operates within any operating system as well. So because Private Internet Access teamed up with me, you get a sweet deal. Grab 83% off if you go to piavpn.com/thedadchallenge. That's an incredible deal. That's just $2.03 a month for some peace of mind. Not only that, you get 4 months free on top of that. Like, this is an incredible deal, okay? And don't forget, it's risk-free with a 30-day money-back guarantee. That's how confident Private Internet Access that you're gonna love the product. Again, piavpn.com/thedadchallenge to get 83% off, 4 months free, 30-day money-back guarantee. You can't beat it. Click the link below in my description or the pinned comment to get that deal today. And thanks, Private Internet Access, for sponsoring today's video. Now let's get to it. So I asked Grok, give me a few paragraphs on why people think Gypsy Rose should still be in jail. Right now, I've been perusing her Reddit a little bit, and there's a lot of people obviously hate her, and for good reason. I do think that she was a victim. I first was cut my teeth on this case listening to Sword and Scale way back in the day, and he covered it very well. And at that time, I was listening to the story. I'm like, yeah, man. I mean, justified, but no, murder is never justified, ever, 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 ever. Okay, well, I say that, but in this case, it really wasn't, because it got pretty crazy, and this is why. Some people believe Gypsy Rose Blanchard should still be in jail due to the severity of her crime. Despite the mitigating circumstances of her abusive upbringing, Gypsy pleaded guilty to second-degree murder in 2016 for her role in the 2015 killing of her mother, Dee Dee Blanchard, who was stabbed to death by Gypsy's then-boyfriend, Nicholas at Gypsy's request. Now, a lot of people are saying that he's mentally unfit, and she used that to her advantage to get him and convince him to do it. And I guess he gets to spend the rest of his life in jail, and she's already out making family vlogs, which is insane. Critics argue that regardless of the abuse Gypsy endured, orchestrating a murder demonstrates a level of premeditation and moral responsibility that warrants a full sentence. Now, the reason why this makes sense is because it was premeditated, planned out. And so it shouldn't be second degree, it should be first degree. They both should have got first degree murder. That's what I think a lot of people believe that. They point out that Gypsy actively participated in the planning, providing Go-John with the murder weapon and facilitating his entry into the home. Actions that some see as calculated rather than purely desperate. Yeah, I agree with that. This perspective holds that justice for Dee Dee, despite her abusive behavior, demands accountability for the loss of life. If anything, Dee Dee should just be in prison for what she's done. And Gypsy's early release after serving only 7 years of a 10-year sentence is seen as too lenient. Another reason some advocate for Gypsy's remaining in jail is a concern over her post-release behavior and the public's response to her fame. She became famous for literally second-degree murder. Murderers shouldn't be famous, okay? Can we agree on that? Shouldn't be getting accolades and happiness and "we love you, you're such a good mom." After her parole in December 2023, Gypsy gained significant media attention and a large social media following with millions of followers on platforms like TikTok and Instagram. Why are you following a murderer? Are you out of your mind? Critics argue that her rapid rise to celebrity status, including appearances in documentaries and reality TV shows like Gypsy Rose, Life After Lockup, they'll just give anybody a TV show, trivializes the gravity of her crime and sends a troubling message about the consequences of murder. Agreed. Some social media posts express unease with her lack of accountability in early interviews, where she appeared to focus more on her newfound freedom than remorse for her actions. This sentiment is echoed in comments suggesting that her fame rewards rather than punishes her, potentially undermining the justice system's deterrent. This is exactly it. What they're saying, what society is saying, is that if you commit second-degree murder against somebody who wronged you as a child, you'll get famous for it and be able to live your life on the internet, not have to worry about a real job. You can have kids, live your life on the internet, and make money doing it. That's what we're being taught right now. That's crazy. Additionally, there's a perspective that Gypsy Rose's case, while tragic, does not fully absolve her of responsibility because she had other options besides murder. Right? Didn't she? Critics note that Gypsy was aware of her mother's deception to some extent, and she knew she could walk and did not need many of the medical interventions Dee Dee imposed. Some argue she could have sought help from authorities, family members, or medical professionals, especially as she grew older and began forming online relationships with Go-John. This view acknowledges the psychological manipulation Gypsy Rose faced due to Dee Dee's Munchausen syndrome by proxy, but contends that her decision to resort to violence rather than escaping or reporting the abuse crossed a moral and legal line that justifies continued incarceration. They also point in Go-John's life sentence as a disparity, arguing that Gypsy's manipulation of him, learned from her mother, contributed to the crime's execution, yet she received a lighter punishment. And there's a petition going on right now, you might go sign it, from change.org, says revoke Gypsy Rose Blanchard's parole. It has 3,700 signatures on it, and a lot of comments like, she's not just a murderer, she manipulated that mentally challenged man to kill her mother, and God knows what else. She is constantly getting caught in her lies from the past and from the present. How is it okay to make a murderer famous when it wasn't self-defense? She could have done so much differently. She knew what she did was wrong and tried getting away with it, but she wasn't that smart. She gets out of prison to cheat on her husband and leave him to know who the baby daddy was until they had a DNA test. The fame coming from this is absolutely bananas. And so here's her snark page, and just to quickly look at it, 3.3 thousand members. This is a really weird picture. This is really interesting. Her grandfather, who did things to her as a child, looks almost identical to her current husband and baby daddy. That's weird, folks. That's real weird. Okay? And that's the top comment on this thread. Not a big Gypsy Rose fan, but know enough to understand she lies as easily as she breathes. Do we know for sure she was M'd, or was this one fictional? Should I tell my friend her porch goose is starting to look like GRP? You can't really blame her for looking like that. I think her mother did that to her. No caption needed. Ken is really activating the microdeletion. So apparently she also has a bunch of weird accents. And I don't know who Ryan Anderson is, but I guess she's got beef with Ryan Anderson.
So you want me to take my shit down, right?
I think it's the prison girl coming out in her.
Okay, how about you quit talking about me?
How about you can't talking like this? Because there's no way this is your real voice.
It's been 3 months since I texted you. And you're spiraling
that her ex or something?
So just remember, just as much dirt as you have on me, I have on you, honey.
Okay, so Ryan has dirt on her. It must be her ex.
You punch at me, I punch back 10 times harder. Go see a therapist.
I guess it must be an ex. She punches. Imagine getting punched by Gypsy Rose. Stop it, murderer. Don't punch me, murderer. So, okay, what's this beef about? It's fascinating to me that this little gremlin thinks she's hot shit. The secondhand embarrassment I feel right now. Another reason why releasing her was a big mistake. That's Rich, an effing sociopath goblin telling someone to go see a therapist. Is this intimidating badass persona? I mean, 5150, I don't know what that means. Is that murder? Maybe she shouldn't be threatening people online while she's fresh out of prison. What a demented demon. She's batshit crazy. She's disgusting. So apparently someone has some dirt on her, some major dirt. I mean, she's a murderer. What more dirt could you have on her? My earrings are from Target and my soul is straight from hell. I don't know what the possums thing mean. Maybe because she looks like a possum? So again, having a kid and being able to have a family channel is absolutely crazy. So I really want to talk about the dangers of cyberbullying. Hey, how about we talk about the dangers of murder? You ever thought about doing a video about that? Dangers of murder. Like, I want to read the comments on this. She murdered her mom, but wants people to watch their cyberbullying. A good way to avoid cyberbullying is to just stay off the internet. That's what I say. And stop doing things that are shady or illegal. If you've just lived your life, stayed out of the limelight, you might be able to avoid some of it. Not as, to a degree, yeah, for sure. She targeted a man she met online and talked him into committing a crime for her. She's a lot of nerve to act like she's a victim of the internet. She's the one victimizing people, not the other way around. She tries to look innocent. Again, in the end, it's really just about Gypsy Rose being a murderer. And there's her toy that you can collectors. I don't know the toothbrush. Again, I don't know a ton of the lore about this. I just heard the story myself when I was, listening to true crime. Really into it. What's this? She's crashing out. Let's hear it.
For Ryan Anderson, and
okay, so who is this Ryan Anderson guy?
If you're not Ryan Anderson, then keep scrolling. But I know y'all watch, and that's okay. But this video is not for y'all; it's for him.
Okay, I don't care. Maybe I'll get into that. Okay, we're not. Don't murder dance after murdering somebody. Don't make TikTok dances. Can we say that? Anyway, so I want to take a look at this video people have been asking me to cover. This is Gypsy Rose. Let's take a look at her channel real quick, actually, first. This is their channel. They have 32,000 subscribers. They also have 463,000 views. She's not making a ton of money on YouTube, that's for sure. But her most popular video is my DIY bleach and tone. This is done May, 75,000 views. Here's a daily vlog. Spend Sunday morning with us. Stop cyberbullying. Maybe I should cover this video instead. Cyberbullying is not just online drama, it's real, it's damaging, and it destroys lives. You literally killed the person. So maybe I should cover that. I'll cover that one next. Because right now we're talking about the murderer to family vlogger pipeline video type thing. But she is trying to grow her social media online persona, and she's trying to make money doing it, and I don't think she should be allowed to. All right. Especially not without, being held accountable to what she has done in her past. Because here, in the end, you're exploiting a child, you're making videos exploiting a child and being a mommy vlogger when your child is going to have to live with the fact that her mother, or his, I think it's a girl, is a murderer. And you should just get off of the internet. You should just disappear. If you want what's best for your child, then you need to get off the internet. That kid is going to have to live through life with your mistakes. And your mistake is a murderer. Do you understand that? Your mistake as an online personality who is a troll, who is a person who everybody hates, your kid is going to suffer the consequences of your actions. So if you don't want your kid to do that and you want to protect your child, get off the internet, Gypsy Rose. Do you understand? But she won't, because she's not going to. What is she going to do? Right? How has she become? Why are we making murderers famous? Somebody explain it to me. I'll never understand this. So let's take a look at this garbage ass video, because it looks like it's filmed again with a calculator. Just, ugh.
All right, so we're playing this game right now where we read each other these parenting questions and kind of...
Yes, that's exactly what I want. Parenting advice from a murderer. Sounds good to me. Anybody else? You want some parenting advice from a murderer? You too? That's coincidence. Oh my gosh, are you serious? If you just put from a murderer anything Gypsy Rose ever done, that's all you need to know. Family vlogging from a murderer. She's a murderer, everybody. That's insane that we have to say that. And that she still gets to be famous because of it.
See how we would each react in this given situation. So I'm gonna pull the first question. I'm gonna ask you, and then we'll go back and forth.
Okay.
All right. We'll both kind of answer though. I'll let you get.
Dude, you married a murderer. Something in your brain that's off. Like, who would marry a murderer? To me, I'm just like, no, man. I had a baby with a murderer.
Give your answer, and then I'll give mine, and then vice versa.
Okay.
All right.
I had to explain the rules to her because she's also dumb.
So, I got you. Hold on. Okay.
I was gonna
Put it back or she will do things second degree.
but
And these are all basically situations as first-time parents, how we would navigate it.
Okay, cool. How do you navigate life as a murderer parent?
So,
Well, here we do. You just make some delicious foods from prison. They're good.
how do we handle it when we disagree about a parenting decision?
This guy rocking a cross. Is this because she thinks she's a vampire? Okay, here's the answer from Gypsy Rose. He doesn't disagree with me. For obvious reasons. I'm good at plotting murder. That's why. We get along.
no. Maybe talk it over. And
They don't even know what they're saying. She doesn't have a prefrontal cortex. There's something weird here. This is a triangle head. That's, if you look at, take just the hair out, Tyson. Just put this part in. That's really weird. It's creeping me out. Yeah, they're not answering questions because they don't know how to do any of this, because they're fresh parents and they have no idea. So don't answer questions and don't give advice from as a murderer. That's the first thing, is what you shouldn't do.
I can
Maybe like we talk it out. I don't know.
and then you could explain yours, and then like come to a compromise, maybe.
That's pretty fair. I feel like that's kind of how we do things already. Like when you have an idea for how to solve a certain problem, and
You think she has any friends in real life? And like, here's another thing your kid's going to suffer from. Never ever going to be able to have friends. That sucks for your child. I'm serious too, because I wouldn't let my kid go over to a parent's house who was a murderer. Nope. Like I can't tell my kids who they can be friends with, and I would never do that. Right? And her kid might be awesome and everything else, but I'm like, you're not going over there. You can be friends, sure, because that kid deserves friends, and it's not the kid's fault, the sins of the mother. But you're definitely not going to a murderer's house. That's for sure. Okay? Cool beans.
I'll like look into it and kind of weigh the pros and cons and see if it's like, is this appropriate for 5-month-old or whatever, and
Like with the whole thing, like when you start her.
I cannot stand her voice. There's no way it's real. There's just no way it's real.
On like purees and stuff.
right, like, that's a good example. And I also feel like because we have a lot of people to lean on for questions. Like I can ask my mom, you can talk to Chrissy. So
Yeah, that's a good one.
You can talk to Chrissy. Who's that? I love how it's like, I can talk to my mom, or you can speak to this random weirdo. That's all you have. Because there's no way she has friends. It's impossible. Nobody will hang out with Gypsy Rose. There's no way she's going to have friends, because they're like, and if you do, it's just because they have a morbid curiosity and they always want to hang out. You get inside information. There's no way she can ever have a normal semblance of life, and good, because you're a murderer.
okay. All right. So what do you think your biggest strength as a parent will be?
My biggest strength as a parent, I think, my patience.
Your patience, eh? I guess you have patience to plot a murder. I can believe that. Everything I'm going to say, Snark, here, is going to lead back to murder. Just so you're aware. It's going to happen.
I think that I have a lot of
I
patience.
literally plotted a murder. So, like, it took patience. So, that's kind of what I'm good at.
Because
You can't even get it.
sometimes, like, it's hard whenever, like, she doesn't want to go down for the night or something like that. And,
Yeah.
I'll think that I'll put her to sleep, and then she wakes up, and then I have to do that 10 times.
Maybe
or-
don't say the words "put her to sleep" if you're a murderer. Choose your words carefully. Just saying. Throwing it out there. Just don't say "putting to sleep." We all agree with that? Yes? All in favor say aye? Okay.
She goes to sleep.
Yeah.
So, yeah, my patience.
I would second that, and also like your nurturement. Like I feel like you're really good with her.
Nurturement.
I've never seen you like throw a fit or get upset. If she.
But You might not have seen her throw a fit or get upset, but we have seen her convicted for murder. So there's that. Just want to make sure we don't forget that little part. Okay, just
It's too fussy, or she seems like a handful. I feel like you've always just like you've rushed to her call, and you've always been there for her through every situation. And
wow, it's a baby. It literally needs parents to eat and change diapers and shit. Like, I've seen you like go to her when she needs you. Well, it's a baby, so I hope so.
I feel like I've never seen you like even roll your eyes about it. So you've been doing it.
I don't think she can roll her eyes. Do you know what I mean? If Gypsy rolled her eyes, I'd be like,
A great job of that.
sorry.
Thank you.
Not sorry.
All right.
I'm not sorry for making fun of a murderer. So if you guys are here and going to be all upset with me making fun of her eyes and shit like that in her voice, go somewhere else, because we're going to bully a murderer. Okay? Was she going to beat me up, kick me in the shins? Is she going to murder me? Well, maybe. She's done it before, so.
How do we respond if she gets sick or hurt?
I almost break down in tears whenever she's like crying. I mean, she hasn't really gotten hurt.
No, we don't know, Ken. Shut up.
She headbutted me.
Whenever you didn't shave?
No.
Whenever. Don't say whenever. When the word when works. When you didn't shave, not whenever you didn't shave. No. Don't say whenever.
I was like holding her up.
I hate when people do that. I hate it.
And she, how she does her little head rocks, and she like headbutted like my chin, and she winced and cried a little bit, and I felt so sad. I just held her close, and I almost cried. Like I can't.
These people don't even like each other. Like, look at their body language, right? Am I right? I don't know a ton about Gypsy Rose, but I blind react. This guy regrets everything, and he should. This marriage is not going to last. So it is in this child's best interest to keep her off the internet forever. It's also in this child's best interest to not be raised by a murderer and try to live in anonymity with his dad somewhere else, and then maybe get raised without knowing that. That's honestly, I'm saying it. I don't care. Murderers don't deserve things.
Handle the emotions of hearing her cry.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say she's really gotten hurt.
Well, she hasn't been sick
She hasn't been sick
either,
yet.
so.
The worst sickness, I would say, is she's been maybe constipated for a few days.
And colicky, but that's.
Gypsy Rose helium.
Colicky, yeah, but
Imagine Gypsy Rose inhaled helium. Holy shit. Dogs will only be able to hear it.
but we get through it.
We handle it. And
Yeah.
that's good thing.
You just said she doesn't get sick, so what are you handling? We handle it. She hasn't been sick, though. Stop being so dumb. Okay, you're not going to be successful at this, and thank God.
It's like we have so many people that have kids, so
Yeah.
I'm just glad.
Who's these people that you hang out with, that are hanging out with murderers? Explain that.
We
I'd be
got
like, hey,
all the remedies.
hey, yo, this is
Hey, can I have some advice? Blocked murderers.
what's going on.
I block murderers.
Idiots.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if something got like really bad or whatever, I call a doctor or whatever.
There are some suggestions we get from people that I'm like, I'm not going to do that. Like, I'm not going to give her a bottle of apple juice. I just don't think that's a good idea. But we get through it.
Yes.
Shut up.
Okay. What's your opinion on screen time limits?
It's literally a 5-month-old. What do you mean screen time limits? The kid can barely see. And if it's got some mother's eyes, it will never be able to see normal.
Okay, well, obviously this is gonna be for when she's older.
It's for later. It's going to be for later.
So don't ask these questions then. Because you don't know. You don't know shit.
Talked about this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, screen time. I don't like a lot of screen time.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right.
Okay.
What?
No.
You had something to add to
Oh, I
that.
do. I'm just waiting.
He's scared for his life. That's what I'm seeing here.
I just don't
Better laugh at her jokes.
like a lot of screen time.
Okay. Well, there's one specific thing that comes to my mind. It's the conversation we had about iPads in the future, where you say you don't want her to have an iPad at all.
Okay, let me be specific. Okay.
Okay.
As a toddler, no.
Okay.
As a preteen, no.
Preteen.
As a 16, yes.
Here's the. I think she's scared that again, if this kid's on the internet, that this is going to learn about mom, because here's the reality of Gypsy Rose being a parent. Okay, one day you're going to eventually have to sit down with your child and be like, "Mommy's a murderer," and you're going to get comments at school. They're probably going to homeschool. Hopefully they do. But in real life, if this kid wants to make friends, go to sports, do dance, whatever the case may be, okay, this kid is going to be inundated and asked questions her whole life because mommy's a murderer. And so Gypsy Rose's reality is that she's going to have to sit this kid down one day and explain to this kid that she murdered her grandmother. Okay, that she found a guy that was going to help plot murder her grandmother. And that is going to be like, how many people have that reality in their life? And so that's why, again, one more reason she should never have brought children into this world. Okay, imagine having to be a person that has to have a conversation with a kid that you murdered their grandmother. That is crazy. And you again, it's going to be your prerogative to say things like it was justified because she was a monster to me, and this is the reality of what happened to me as a child, and so that's why I felt it was the only. Even if you have excuses like that's the only way I felt like the out I had. Blah blah blah. You can say all that shit. I'm just saying she has to have a conversation with her child about her being literally in prison for murder. That's crazy.
If she shows us that she is responsible and safe
and doesn't Google mom's name,
she should have an iPad.
You got Kira out there, kids watching my videos, which they shouldn't be, but there is so much content about Gypsy Rose Blanche on the internet, and it's only, by the time this kid is old enough to read the internet, it's gonna be even more.
I'm just thinking, I don't know, like I think I'm trying to be, I don't know how this sounds, but like realistic about it. Like when I was a kid growing up, you know, I'm 32. So I didn't get my first cell phone until I was 13, and that was a flip.
I grew up without cell phones, man. I'm so old.
Phone back then.
Damn. I remember being on ICQ chat in grade 9. Cell phones were they were a thing, but they weren't like mainstream.
Like, you know, like
got all Nokias.
Like you were cool if you had a Motorola Razor, and
you're still cool if you have a Motorola Razor. Let's be real.
I didn't get one of those, but I eventually did later on. But nowadays, I feel like I've seen like 10-year-old kids with iPhones. You know, I've seen even younger kids with iPhones, and I also see like really young kids, like I don't know, I can't tell their age, but like that have iPads. And I feel like we're gonna get like we say that, you know, yeah, we're not gonna let her have all these screens, and you know, it's gonna be harmful and that. But I feel like when we have a screaming 4-year-old, you know, day after day after day, and like
no. That's no reason to be like, well, I'm going to feed you into front of an iPad. You shouldn't have a screaming 4-year-old to begin with if you parent your kids properly. Okay, there are some kids obviously with ODD and all that. I understand that. There are some exceptions to the rule. But no, just raise your kids right. Raise them to be respectful and not have temper tantrums. I know it's easy for me to say that because I'm just like, they just don't. Because maybe my personality type is that the fact that I just would never have put up with it anyway. And if it ever reared its head that way when they were young, I was just like, no. It just never was a thing. It was a non-starter to begin with. I think one of the best pieces of parenting advice you can give to any new parents is like, make things like that non-starters. Right from the instance that it happens the first time, it's a no-go because it's only going to get worse from there. Do you understand? Like, so it's never going to be a thing because you never let it happen or never let it go past that thing. You see that thing you did? That's a no. Nope. Right from that beginning. I think, again, best parenting advice is if you don't want your kids to have a certain behavior or be a certain way, when that rears its head, because it will, that's when it becomes a non-starter instantly. Nope, that's never going to happen again. Does that make sense? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about it, but that's maybe why. Because I just never put up with it ever and never would.
To pacify them is to like give them an iPad with cocoa melon.
And that's not to say when it happens that you abuse your kids, because I'm completely against that. But like, it's just the way that you respond to that behavior should be a non-starter. Like, hey, that's never gonna happen again. We're not doing that. Nope. That's a nope. I think I said that a lot. That's a nope.
On it. Like, I'm probably gonna cave at that.
Listen,
you know?
I had dolls. I had baby dolls, and when I got older, I had, you know,
headless dolls. But I did that.
Barbie dolls. Like, I had toys growing up.
Yeah.
And
so do kids now.
And so, I mean, I was pacified by that, but like, I was also like, I was a good baby. I was a good child, and
you murdered your mom. So
my mom would always give me like the look if I wasn't. Like that stern look. So
I don't think you should talk about your mom. I think that should maybe be an off limits thing, because, you know, the whole murder thing. I think that's just super tacky of you. I don't think you should do that. That's an ew. That's an ew from me. Is it an ew from you? Yeah, it's an ew. Don't. No.
I just knew not to like act up or anything. I was pacified with my stuffed animal.
I gotcha.
I was a 90s kid, so like And you were too.
Yeah.
So.
You know,
This video sucks ass.
getting her something like that just to make her happy. You know. So we'll deliberate when the time comes.
You're not going to be around when the time comes. I'm not saying murder. I'm just saying there's no way this marriage is going to last. She is probably bananas in real life. Okay, that's what my gut is saying. That she is full of drama. This guy's even sitting on eggshells around her, and when he talks, it's walking on eggshells. There's something wrong with this girl, okay? She's also been institutionalized after Munchausen syndrome proxy, after murder. As a victim, yes, but then a murderer, that's not a victim, and then obviously was institutionalized by prison and prisoners inside. So there's this girl is damaged beyond repair and should never have had children.
How will we support her academic success without pressuring her?
I'm gonna be there every night to help her with her homework.
So you're not going to homeschool. You should absolutely homeschool this child. Do not send this kid off to a public school education while their parent is a mother. Or murderer, not mother. Well, both, I guess. But don't. Again, she's going to have to live through the reality of what you did, Gypsy. Don't send your kid to school, please.
Help her study. And I'm going to, try and put her in, like, gymnastics or any kind of, like, school program.
Don't.
Get her more involved in, like, clubs and things like that. Those are all things that I didn't do as a kid.
We can tell. That
I wish I had done. I think they're very beneficial. So I think just being an active part of like her.
This guy's like
Helping
he's
her
got anxiety.
with her homework every night, talking to her about what's going on in her classes, just being
Notice they don't like give eye contact to each other. That's really weird too.
as involved as possible
You like glance at her and they're like, I should have looked that long.
in her school, Whereas like when I was a kid growing up, like my mom did the best she could, but I grew up mostly with a single mother and with 5 siblings, so it was hard for her to help all 5 of us, But like luckily with just Aurora, at least for now, I
Don't have more. Don't have any more.
I see myself being extremely involved and just helping her as much as I can.
That makes sense. I mean,
You literally had a child with a murderer. You idiot. You just absolute dumbass. Were there no regular girls out there that would have a child with you? Were there just no... Was murder the only thing? Like, imagine being murder the only girl you can get. That's something wrong with you, I think. Did you just strike out with normal people? I don't know. There's just... Okay. That's... No.
I think that like for me, I want to make learning fun.
Yeah, learning.
And so,
Learn how to murder. She had to research murder, that's for sure.
there's always like so many.
Yes, Gypsy Rose Blanchard's internet history played a significant role in the investigation of the murder of her mother. Unsealed search warrants revealed that Gypsy maintained at least 5 Facebook accounts under various aliases, including Nicholas Gojon, Nicholas Bella Rose, Snow Gypsy Blanchard, Gypsy Trip, Praying for Dee Dee, and Gypsy Bella Rose, blah, 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 where she liked pictures related to sadomasochism. Sadomasochism? These accounts were linked to Gypsy's email address, and Nicholas Gojon, and then boyfriend and co-conspirator told investigators that Gypsy Rose had many accounts. The investigation also traced incriminating online communications between Gypsy and Gojon, whom she met at a Christian dating site. Dear Jesus, send me a murderer. The relationship kept secret from Dee Dee. Gypsy's secret online hack included confiding in a neighbor via hidden Facebook account about her relationship with Gojon and her plans for a future together, her ability to maintain these covert online interactions. So apparently there's no direct evidence linking, explicitly states she or Nicholas Gojon conducted specific online researches of how to murder. Okay, that's what I should ask first. Christian websites.
And I watched this one show one time. It was a reality show.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. Let's get on to the next one here. It's how will we divide responsibilities? 1337.
So how will we divide responsibilities like bedtime, meals, and bath time?
How do we or will we? Do you not do any of that now?
The coin.
Okay. I was gonna say I thought we already
Flip a coin?
do. Like we both.
That's a silly way to divide responsibilities. Here's how I divide mine, so if you guys are interested. I think it's kind of interesting. If wifey is working a shift, okay, I do everything. That's just the way it is. Not only because I have to, because I think she's working really hard, and she does. She gets home, I make dinner, I do the kids' things, I do all the stuff during the day, I do all the pickups, the dance, all the stuff. I do it all, because obviously she can't. Also, when she gets home, she wants to relax. So I'll do it all. She has a night shift, she's gone, she gets to sleep till the afternoon, I do all that stuff too. But I won't fold laundry. I will leave that shit there forever. Okay, I'm just not going to do it. But I think dividing responsibilities just depends on what you do during the day, right? If a guy is working all day outside, then of course the household responsibilities rely on the person that stays at home. If you both work full-time jobs, then the household responsibilities should be 50-50 at the very minimum. So, also, do these people work? I don't know. Who would hire her anyway? Hey, I'm looking for a job here. We don't hire murderers. It is an old folks home, so.
Do all these. I don't think I've given her a bath on my own yet. But,
okay, 1752, talking about timeouts.
You know, at a certain age, it's okay, which is little, but when she gets bigger, it's like, okay.
You guys suck balls.
No, ma'am, not gonna happen anymore. I'll finish your turn. It's okay, baby love.
Do you believe in timeouts, consequences, or gentle parenting?
All three.
You believe in consequences for murder?
All three's good answer.
All three, yeah. You get a little dose of each, depending on the situation, depending on how you act.
I agree. I agree, yeah.
You know she's uncomfortable answering this question, right? Because it's about consequences for your actions, and she murdered somebody. So, you know?
I agree on that.
Well, put that away. Let's not answer any more of those questions.
Do you want Aurora to have a strict routine or more flexibility?
Sucks.
I feel like more.
Next.
So should she start having rules and responsibilities?
This kid is like 5 months old. This is stupid. Holidays and cultural traditions, 22-29. This is gonna be interesting because there's no
like the exact age.
I don't think she has family on her side anymore.
But she will have rules and she will have responsibilities for sure.
Wow, thanks, Dad.
She's like, no, I want to do whatever I want all the time.
This kid is gonna hate you, just so you're aware. Mom, you murdered somebody, and I have to deal with the consequences of your murdery actions. Thanks, though.
All right, how are we gonna handle holidays and cultural traditions?
Okay, I mean, I feel like we've, gotten into the groove of just doing, the normal stuff,
Gypsy, don't say things like normal stuff, okay? Because you're not normal.
birthdays and birthday parties and, family get-togethers and stuff like that. I mean, what about you? Do you have any, cultural things?
No, I mean, I think just all the regular ones. I'm big on Christmas and Thanksgiving, Halloween, things like that. So, I mean, we're gonna have fun with it. We're gonna go big with it, and she's gonna have.
Wow,
fun
this is shitty.
Sure.
Okay, 2644. They talk about role models. That's gonna be interesting.
All right, this is a good one. So, do you think she should be involved in team sports or group activities?
Yes, 100%, because I think that it is helpful for her self-esteem. It also helps her.
You know what's gonna be not helpful for her self-esteem? Having a murderer for a mother. That's not going to be good.
Find friends. Mm-hmm. Let's just say she doesn't make any friends at school. She can find a passion, a hobby.
Yeah.
So that's interesting that she said that, and you don't miss that. Let's say she doesn't make any friends at school. She already knows this kid is going to struggle through life with friends because, again, being who she is, there's no way that she's going to be able to have true friends because those true friends aren't going to really, the parents are going to be like, look, this is what her mother did. We don't want you being around her. And that's going to be the reality of this child's life. And it's not the child's fault. I'm not saying it's the child's fault. It's just going to be the reality of it. Because who out there as a good parent would let their child go to a murderer's house? Okay, who really would? You shouldn't, is what I'm telling you. If you do, then stop that. So it's really interesting she said that. She's foreseeing the future for this child already.
That she's passionate about. And then that.
Well, you have no friends, but we have dance. Let's get some dance.
Create, a long-lasting self-esteem that she can be proud of achieving something. So they're achievements.
Yes. No, I totally 100% agree. I wouldn't change anything you just said.
Okay.
What kind of example do we want to set in our own relationship?
Okay, so
I'm not going to say it. It's too easy.
I would say that I would want to set an example by showing, affection. How I talk to you, how you talk to me.
Wow, this is shitty. I can't. I don't even want to watch it anymore. So here are the comments from her video that she disables the likes on. She probably disables all the likes on everything. I'm surprised she lets the comments, honestly, on her thing. Very surprised by this. Most of these questions are theoretical. You have to see what kind of child it is before you know you'll handle issues. You say a child you play with Barbies, but in your book you state you couldn't. Recommend maybe you should keep post-it notes around and keep your story straight. Burn. Thought your mother did not allow you to play with Barbie dolls. So here's the thing. Everybody knows more about her story because she has shared it than she even does. She has forgotten the lies that she has told. Okay? So people are coming in with the receipts and she's like, well, I played with Barbie once. Never let her cry about it. Always reassure her and confront her, comfort her. See, there's comments like, I love seeing you two in this type of videos. She's a murderer. Stop it, man. Stop doing this. Why are you following and liking a murderer? You're stupid. So you read your book and basically told professional writers about your life for your book. I did read it, and I do not think it should be for your daughter to read. It's a lot. We did get a massive insight from your point of view, but what about these trips to Disney, the Comic Cons, all the stuff that you actually did get to? They were in the news. The newspapers locally, everyone knew who you were before the Hurricane Katrina. Why didn't you write about those times? They really level each other out. Gypsy's super cute, fun murderer, and Ken is good level thinker, non-murderer. I put that other part in. Is there a snark thread on this video? I need to know the drama about this other. I want to know about Ryan Anderson. Someone let me know. Get in my inbox. Let me know.
At this time, at this location, this is how people get murdered.
And she would know how people get murdered because she murdered somebody. Wow. The comment. He's thinking, if anyone knows about that sort of thing, it's definitely her. Apparently she did not get wealthy off her TV show and she's kind of broke and she's trying to break into YouTube world and try to make money, but it's really not working for her, so that's good. There's too much lore missing to understand the context of what's happening here, and I'll get into it. We'll get into it. I've never seen Life After Lockup, and I'm not going to watch it because, well, maybe I will. I don't know. Is it worth watching? Does she really get into the murder and stuff like that? There, we covered it. Sorry it's not as good as I thought it was going to be, but like, again, why are we rewarding murderers with shows and people and fans? Why are you fans of our murderer? Anybody out there watching this video who's a fan of Gypsy Rose, please leave me a comment below or reach out to me on Instagram. Why would you be a fan of this person? Are you okay? I honestly want to know. Maybe you've got an argument. Maybe you're like, well, second chances and stuff. Like, really? And then she goes on to exploit this child on the internet? Are you out of your mind? I want to know, for realsies. But until then, take a deep murder breath. Don't murder people. I need to write Gypsy Rose a song called Don't Murder People. And then start family vlogs. But guys, thanks for being here for these conversations. It's fun, sort of. Murder, fun. Murder's not fun. I don't know. Why did I say that? Anyway, thank you for being awesome and for watching my videos. I appreciate you every single day. You are incredible. You are valuable. Someone has a huge crush on you. It's summer. It's hot. Get out and enjoy it, okay? You have an amazing day, and I'll see you when I see you.